What's going on, guys? This is actually the intro to the intro of today's video. Now, we visited one of the most insane public home aquariums in the entire world. There was so much action in today's video. I know this video is a little bit longer than normal, but I promise you all it is worth it. So make sure to watch it all the way through and let me know at the end what your favorite fish was in this video. We showed over $1 million worth of aquarium fish. It was so cool. Now, with that being said, guys, let's get into today's video. I hope you all enjoy. Guys, we have finally made it. If you all can't read that sign behind me, we are at Fish Story, a DIY public aquarium. This is the most insane home aquarium that I've ever seen before in my entire life, and I can't wait to bring you all along. Let's go inside and let's go meet Victor. There he is. What's up, man? We got it rolling. This is Victor, guys. He's the owner here. All right, check this out, guys. This is a fish that you might have never seen before. Right here in the back there is a European Wels Catfish, a known man-eating catfish. It's probably, what, 6 foot, Victor?
It's about 5 feet. It's a baby, yeah.
It's just a baby at that size. And they get massive. You've probably seen it on the show River Monsters. They get so big. And Victor is one of the only people in the United States, there might be a dozen of them left here, because they're actually banned, because they can be a very invasive species to the environment if they get let loose. I think that happened in Spain, didn't it?
No, in Spain they did it on purpose.
On purpose?
They released them into the Ebro River on purpose to improve fishing industry.
So they've taken over. Like, I've seen
fishing tourism.
I've seen videos of them at what, 10, 12 feet. I mean, they're one of the coolest catfish, I think, on earth. My favorite catfish, actually. So Victor said if you stomp your foot, the whales will actually come over here. Look, and he thinks it's dinner time. Check out how massive that fish is, guys. You couldn't even own one of those here if you wanted to. This place is so spectacular. Well, this is just the beginning right here. This is just the front entrance when you walk in, this 25,000-gallon tank. Now, in the back room back there, Victor has some insanely big fish as well, with some massive tanks that you've probably never seen before. So let's head back there right now and see what else he has. Victor is the ultimate monster fish keeper. He's a super nice guy, and he's letting us come by today, so I'm super thankful for that. But come on here with me. Come check this out. So right here we have all these massive tanks, I mean, that Victor has put together. Look at these giant catfish, Lima shovel nose. These fish are so datnoids. Check this out. I'm in heaven here, as you all can tell right now. And then behind me, Victor actually has special permits to own these fish here in Florida, because if you don't, they are technically illegal and you can probably get a felony, honestly. So Victor, with him having this huge facility, he was able to obtain those permits. Behind me, guys, we have these baby arapaima. Now, these guys are just a few months old here, and Victor said they're growing about 1 inch every week. So within a couple years, they'll be about 6 foot long. This is also one of my favorite fish, guys. We're definitely gonna get one of these for the 8,000-gallon pond, even though it might eventually outgrow it, but we can always get a bigger tank, right? Dude, how cool would it be if we got even a bigger tank than the 8,000-gallon pond? Bro, look at the size of this Oscar right here, dude. That's gonna be the biggest Oscar I've ever seen. That thing is so massive, dude. He has so many huge fish. Look at the datnoid, too. Goodness. He probably has $1 million worth of fish here. Wouldn't you say, Victor? I mean, some of these fish you can't even put a price on, because you can't.
They're not a commodity.
You can't even get them. It's hard to price them. These are your pets, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've had a lot of these fish for years, and some of these are rescues from people's tanks, which we're going to talk about in a second. Some stories that Victor has of going to people's houses with like a 3-foot fish in a 180-gallon tank. But I'm just so blown away. Like, this is just heaven for me right now. So, guys, look at the face on this fish right here. That is a Dorado catfish, and his face is actually deformed like that because he is super skittish, and they're really hard to raise. So they bang into the side of the tank, as you can see right there. He's kind of flying around, but look at it. Look at that face. That is so insane. This is probably the biggest one that I've ever seen before, and most of the times they don't even make it past a couple inches, just because they are so skittish and they just end up killing themselves in the tank, which is kind of self-destructive, honestly. But and behind me here, guys, this gets even crazier. Check this out. Look at this tank right here. This is so insane. Look at the size of this arowana up here. That thing is at least 3 foot long. That is so massive. There's another one back there. Just this tank alone will make this entire trip worth it. But he literally has another one right here to the left of me, and then he has all these other tanks behind us that are just so insane. And then he's also working on a project right now, which is your biggest project ever, isn't it, Victor?
It's second biggest.
Second biggest.
10,000, but it's a hard wall tank, yeah.
Oh yeah, only 10,000 gallons. Pretty small, but maybe, you know, you can throw a few guppies in there, or maybe some koi. One fish that I really want to highlight in this tank is, check these guys out right here. These are actually Cuban gar, and at one point they were one of the most endangered gar species in the world. I think they almost went extinct actually. There was supposedly only one living pair of these guys left, and they were actually able to breed them, and now these are captive bred. So it's just amazing to see this fish make a recovery. And it just goes to show you guys how overfishing over time can just be so destructive to these fish. I mean, there was literally one male and female pair left of these fish on Earth supposedly, and then this is kind of their offspring. So the genetics aren't the best, but it's still better than nothing, and super awesome that they're able to save this species of gar. And if you want to buy one of these guys for your home aquarium, you're going to pay a hefty price of $350 just for a baby. One at this size is definitely worth at least a couple $1,000s. So now that I've showed you all the two 4,500 gallon tanks, over here guys is where Viktor's newest project is going down. Come check this out. He also has a bunch of tanks that we're going to show you all the fish in. Guys, this is going to be a longer video, but trust me, it is worth to stay along and watch this. These are fish that you may never see again except for this video. All right, Viktor, what is this right here, dude? This is massive.
This is my next project. It's an experiment. Nobody builds tanks like this. This is a thin skin acrylic. It's only 3/8 of an inch thick, and the structural strength is provided by the wooden box. So it's a wooden box with acrylic skin. It's 18 by 16 by 5.5 feet. You can see I'm six something.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's only lacking the front window right now, which we just bought. It's sitting on our driveway. It needs to be brought in. It's 1,000 pounds.
But I know everyone wants to know, you know, you built this giant tank by yourself, which is super impressive as well.
Yeah.
But what is going to go in this tank?
We're thinking brackish probably, because we have plethora of brackish water that we don't need to treat. For everything else, we have to run reverse osmosis on our water, and that's very expensive. But for the brackish water, we have plenty of straight out of the well. And I think it'd be good for a Florida fish exhibit like redfish and tarpon, snook, and the company, everything that lives in our brackish channels and goes in and out of the ocean into the freshwater and back. So we can try it here.
What about, I know this tank is probably one of the only big enough tanks that can handle this fish for a very long time. Have you ever thought about getting a bumblebee grouper?
Yeah, I thought about it a lot. Yeah, it's kind of expensive, and they may need to go into full marine water eventually, which we don't plan. So we could try.
They're a very scary fish. I have a few at home actually right now, and actually while I was acclimating into my new tank, he is one of the only fish I've ever seen eat in his 5-gallon bucket while I'm trying to acclimate into his new tank. So they're so aggressive. It actually bit me on my hand. I have a scar permanently on my hand from my bumblebee grouper that cut me up. But wow, this tank is so amazing. And then behind me, you guys, we have a bunch of other, are they 220s?
240s, yeah.
240s. Look at this. Look how beautiful these guys are. It just never ends, guys. This is like, if you love monster fish, you definitely need to come down here and visit Viktor. I mean, even if it's $1,000 for the plane ticket, it would be worth it to come here just for this, to see all these amazing fish, because I would say this is probably one of the best private collections of fish, maybe in the entire world, which is a big say, but I mean, check it out. Who has a tank like this that they built themselves, all done by just one guy? This is what we came here for, guys. This is one of the rarest fish you'll ever see in the entire world. This is literally why we made the solely trip down here, just to see this one single fish. Come check this out right here. Guys, this is a Pictus catfish. It's $1 million fish. No, I'm just kidding, guys. That's about a $5 fish at PetSmart. Just joking with you all. But as you all can see, there's just so many tanks right here. We got the Ultim Angels, the largest growing angelfish right here, which are still awesome. I have appreciation for these fish. They're still amazing, even though they're not my cup of tea. But like, you know, keep moving down here. Just another fish that Viktor has in here that's really awesome. Right here is just like baby Arapaima. And Viktor actually got this with the same other ones that I showed you all earlier, the larger ones. And he's just a slower grower. Maybe his genetics aren't as good. He's kind of the runt of the group. But he'll eventually grow. With constant feedings, he'll get a lot bigger. And, you know, these Arapaima, they can get 12 feet if given the right environment. So, and now we're coming back over here to the 4,500 gallon because I want Viktor to talk about something that happens with him owning a fish rescue. He gets to see a lot of things, and I think this happens more often than even we think. So come on over here. And you know, like I said, Viktor has rescued a lot of these fish with all these massive tanks here, but he has also seen some horror stories of these fish that you buy at 5 or 6 inches getting huge. So Viktor, let's talk about one of these fish and I guess what happened.
Well, we rescue a lot of fish. Most rescues are probably come from people not doing their homework and not thinking through how big their pet is going to grow, what kind of care it will need, how big a tank, etc. And one of the probably most bright examples of it is our rescued 32-year-old Oxydorus niger. That's the fish that's coming up right here. Her name is Gil. Again, she's 32 years old, and 25 years this fish spent in a 180 gallon in a 6x2x2. Their prior keepers were very nice people. I mean, they loved this fish to death. They just didn't understand how important it is for a fish to move, to be able to move around, to swim around. So when we took her out in 2015, that's 8 years ago, out of her 180 gallons, she measured 34 inches. So she can only go on an angle in one corner of the tank to turn around. That she had one length, body length to go forward, and then she had to go in a corner at an angle again to turn around.
So you see her back right there.
That's why her back is so tall, is because she was growing upwards. She couldn't grow lengthwise anymore. And her tail is underdeveloped for her size, and it's also curved down a little bit.
That's just so sad. I'm sure that happens more often too than even we think. You know, you buy, you know, your little red-tailed catfish, which are so cute at the store. You buy your pacu, and these are like some of the fastest growing freshwater fish that you can buy.
To buy a red-tailed catfish, you have to be prepared to house a 4-foot, 100-pound fish for half a century. That's your commitment you'll be making when you're buying a 2-inch red-tailed catfish.
And I think too that something that gets overlooked is I think people underestimate how long these fish can actually live. You know, I think most people think a fish lives 5, maybe 6 years. But some of these guys, like I said, that's a 32-year-old fish. I'm 21. That fish is way older than me, you know. And some of these fish can live, I don't know if specifically any of these guys here, but some fish can live close to 100 years, right? Like the Australian lungfish. I mean, you're gonna have to pass that fish down to your grandkids one day just to keep it alive. And something that's so interesting too is a lot of these fish, even how big and bad they look, oftentimes they are a lot more scared of you than they are of them. So they're super skittish. Like if we were able to get in this tank and like get in there and like make splash around and stuff, a lot of these fish would probably freak out, right? And they're not like they're gonna come and attack me like a shark, you know? A shark is kind of a bully in a sense, but these are more like just gentle giants towards humans and not like gonna come bite your face off, you know, like people would think. Especially with piranhas. I know you all have seen people that jump in pools with meat attached to them. Piranhas are one of the most skittish fish. And I actually don't really like them. They're illegal in my state, so I can't even own them. But all right, guys, we're getting a very special treat today. So right now, Viktor is actually preparing food for us. He's gonna feed all these tanks. Now, we might not show it all, but we're definitely gonna show this big boy eat right here and all the other monsters. All right, let's go find Viktor and see what he's making for these fish. Okay, so right here, guys, we have some of the food that we're feeding. Let's take a whiff of that. Oh, that smells nasty, but these fish are gonna love it. The stinkier, the nastier it is, the more these fish are gonna love it. We also have some pellets right here. And I think Viktor's also dosing some of it with vitamins just to keep these fish nice and healthy. That's so insane. Look at the tarpon go, the Irwini. Wow, those Irwini are actually really cool. There's so many fish in there too, which is like crazy. There's so many different species from all over the world. Now it's time to feed the big boys, guys. These fish are gonna go insane for that food. All right, guys, Viktor's gonna let me actually feed this tank. Check this out, guys. Look at these arowanas. Oh!
Somebody grabbed it.
That was the arowana, huh?
No, the gar got it.
Gar got it. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Finger mullet versus monster aquarium. Let's see if we can get one of these gar in here. Oh, he's right there. Oh, dude, that was so sick. All right, guys, check this out. This is a piece of mullet right here. I'm going to feed one of these gar. These guys are so powerful. Are you ready for this? It got me soaking wet, guys. Oh my gosh.
Spray it a little, yeah.
All right, guys, this is the monster pond right here. Viktor just doing all these pellets. These are almost like vegetables, so this has got a lot more nutrients than a lot of the fish. You can see the pacu right here just munching down. Bro, look at that paw. That thing has to be at least 30 or 40 pounds. These are the same fish, guys. You can buy these at a lot of pet stores for $5 or $10, and at this size, this has to be one of the fastest growing freshwater fish I've ever seen. They will get this big. And so if you don't have a tank, I highly recommend don't buying them because you're gonna have to get something like this, and this is a very, very expensive tank. And then right here as well, this is a red-tailed catfish from the Amazon. And same thing, you can buy them for about $20 from the store, and oftentimes they almost always get rehomed because no one can handle a fish of this size. I mean, this tank is huge, But yeah, it's very expensive as well. So back in 2011, Viktor bought these 2 tanks for $15,000 each. Now with prices, I would say they're somewhere in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. So if you want to have fish this big, guys, this is how much you're gonna have to pay just to keep them in their home. This is one of the most aggressive catfish in the world. This is the Jiao Jiao catfish. He is the tank boss. Even though he's not the biggest fish in here, he really bullies everybody. I want to get one of these guys, but oftentimes you have to keep them alone just because they're so mean. All right, guys, I got this giant piece of mullet right here. And as you all can see, this catfish has been coming up the glass. He's obviously hungry. Let's see what he does. I'm gonna hand feed him. Oh, look at that giant, gentle giant. Just down that giant piece of mullet. And honestly, guys, I've tried to do my best to show you all everything here. It is just near impossible. I mean, there's just tanks on tanks on tanks, fish on fish. But Viktor has actually offered to me to get in his 25,000 gallon tank with the Wels Catfish, all the carp, and also the sturgeon. So how can I not pass that up? I'm gonna get in there right now. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me, guys. This is so insane. I can't wait to show you all these fish up close and personal. All right, here we go, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. This is gonna be so insane.
Look at my feet. They're nibbling my feet. Hi, guys.
Oh, that thing you gotta feed it.
Right now, this is the largest freshwater fish in the entire world, the beluga sturgeon. Nowhere else in the entire country can you own this fish. They're almost extinct in the wild. Look at him, I'm looking to hold him right here. Check this out. Oh my gosh. Dude, that is so amazing, bro. That fish you will not find in the wild. Whew. I'm about to go up to the Wels right now. Viktor told me last time that he was in here trying to mess with the Wels literally bit him. Also, I didn't mention this, guys, but Viktor made me sign a contract that if I die in this tank, he's not responsible. It's a little scary if you ask me. Guys, that was round 1 with the Wels. We didn't get too close because I'm really scared of it biting me, honestly, but I might try to touch its tail. Viktor said the odds of me getting bit have increased exponentially if I try to do that. But I think, guys, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Whew. Guys, that was such an insane experience. Luckily, I did not get bit or even eaten, which I was worried about. But if you all want to visit this place, I highly recommend it. It is Fish Story DIY, a public aquarium, guys. You all can meet Viktor, see all his amazing fish he has here, these amazing tanks. This has truly been a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Swimming in this tank has been incredible. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.